Hello, I'm Joe from Joe's Allotment channel. Let me tell you the jobs I've been doing in February and the seeds I'm sowing for February, getting ready for spring. I've trimmed the grapevines down the allotment and the currant bushes, the loganberry bush, the apple trees, the pear trees, but we can see all that later when we do a tour of the allotment. What else have I done in this month? I've sowed some spring onion seeds and which they're up and progressing already. We've got some broad beans sown in pots for a second crop because I've already planted some. I've planted some already which are going well down the allotment. We'll see those later. So the broad beans haven't come up yet. We've got garlic in toilet tubes which are going well. There's already a crop down the allotment growing which I've planted earlier in the late last year. What else have we got here going? We've got some early radish in here in the pot. That hasn't germinated yet, but that's a French breakfast, so we should get an early crop of those. And at the moment I'm potting up the peppers. Got two varieties here. We've got California Wonder and Sweet Romano. I think this one's a bell pepper, and the other one's a longer pepper, the long pepper. So I'm potting those up at the moment, and once I finish potting them up, I'll take them indoors and soak them from the bottom. Keep them in the dark for the rest of today, and then put them in the light from tomorrow. Give them a chance to sort of get established before I put them in light conditions. What else have we got going? We've got where are we? There should be some spinach here somewhere. Where's the spinach? Oh, here. We've got Perpetual Spinach on the go. Got quite a few plants there. They're coming on well for planting out later in the spring. And cauliflowers. They're doing quite well as well. So prick them out gently and pull them out from the top leaf. Oh, it's got a good root system. I find it's easy using one of these long nails actually. It's a good little tool. Get them in there well. Same again. Get a bit deeper, I think. Give them a nice firm down. And then add a little bit more soil around them just to earth them up a bit. And they should progress quite well in there. I'll keep these in the conservatory until it's ready to plant them out into the greenhouse, or some will go straight into the plot, but later on in the year though. So that's what we're doing today. I've also got to sow some what else got to sow today? I'm going to do some sweet peas, but I'll put them in toilet rolls because then they can go straight into the ground without disturbing the root system, and the cardboard just disintegrates in the ground. So I like to have some flowers on the allotment as well for beneficial insects and bees. I'm going to do some lettuce today. Going to put that in a propagator to get them started. A few different varieties, but I won't do too many, say 4 or 5 seeds of each one. Otherwise you get a big glut and you've got so many lettuces you don't know what to do with them. Aubergine, going to start that in the propagator today as well. I'm going to start an early crop of carrots as well, but I'll do those in the greenhouse. I'll probably just do it in one of these large pots, I think, just to get a few early carrots. That's it, so we'll catch up later again. I'll show you, give you a tour of the allotment later. You can see what's happening down there and where we are in readiness for spring. Yep, potatoes are I've got the potatoes in, and they're all here. Some of them are chitting and some are just ready for planting later on from March, but we'll do that when the conditions are right and the plot's ready to plant potatoes really. I've got Rocket, which is the first early, which will go in probably mid-March, hopefully. Then I've got a second early. Nicola salad. Then the main crop, I've got two different main crop varieties. A Maris Piper, which is all round potato, and we've found always produces well on our allotment. And King Edward's, which is also a lovely potato. Probably one of the most popular potatoes in the country. So they're ready. They're chitting quite well already. The Rockets. So they're all ready to go. Just got to wait for the right time and the right conditions to start planting. Right, more sowing for end of February and could be into early March now really. I've sown some aubergine, which is an early purple 2 variety. I've sprinkled just a few seeds in each pot. Last year I planted them and I put them in the greenhouse last year and didn't get much of a crop really, only quite a few. So this year I'm going to leave it a bit later and try and plant them outside and see if that gives me a better crop. So they're in the propagator ready to go. And I've planted some lettuces, 3 different varieties. I've got some Lolo Rosso, which is the red variety, which is lovely. Some Little Gems and some Winter Densities. So they're in the propagator ready to go as well. They'll take about 7 to 10 days to germinate. And the aubergines will probably take between 14 and 21. They're very slow to germinate. Right, I've sown some early nonce carrot in a pot just to get a bit of an early crop. Probably won't get a huge amount out of there, but I'll pick out the small ones to use as salads and let a few grow to a larger size. Got the onion sets in just dry compost really. Dry compost to get the roots started. Just push them into the compost. Hopefully that'll give them a little bit of a start. So when we plant about in the plot, they'll have a bit of a root system already going. So they're a red onion variety. I think they're called Carmen. Got them from Wilco's. £2 a bag, 2 bags here, so relatively cheap. Got same with the shallots. Put those in a dry compost as well to get them going. These are a Red Sun variety, so hopefully they'll get established a bit before we put them out as well later on in March. Gives them a bit of a head start with the rooting. And it won't be that hard to get them back out of there because it's dry compost, so they should pull out of there relatively easily and go into the soil quite well. Sown some sweet peas as well in toilet tubes. These are a giant waved mix variety, so I put those in my own compost from the garden, just to save a bit of compost really, potting compost. Use my own. I think there's about 38 plants in there if they'll germinate, and they can go down the allotment, which would be good for a bit of colour and good for the bees as well, which will hopefully then pollinate some of our crops for us. Hello. Welcome to Joe's allotment towards self-sufficiency. I'll give you a bit of a tour of our 2 allotments. This is the one we've had the longest, probably over 30 years. getting ready for the spring now. So what we've done, you can see the poles. That's where the potatoes are going to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of potatoes are going in here. We've emptied out the compost bin and put some of the compost onto each row. So what we'll do later is actually rotivate, dig it all into the soil with rotivation, and that will help give the potatoes some nutrition. This is the area for the beans. We've got that covered over. Put a lot of comfrey in there and compost at the end of last season. Covered it over carpet, so let it all rot down. So that's going. That won't be covered for a while yet. So I'll uncover it and then I'll put the soil back into the trench, and that'll be ready for the climbing beans. These are water butts, so it just makes watering a bit easier when they're a bit closer to where you're watering. Got a large tank over there which comes off the shed roof, which fills up with rainwater. I think that's 500 litres, I think. That's quite a lot, but it doesn't last long. Surprising how quickly it goes. We've got a water tap quite close by. So that's the area for the potatoes. This area will be for other crops. Not sure what, because we use the deep beds up there for crop. This is really an overflow, really. Anything that's left over, chuck in here. Maybe a few marrows as well, a few pumpkins. So they've got loads of room to grow. At the other end, so these are the strawberry rows. We've got 4 rows. I think we only got around to tidying up 1 row at the end of the season, so we've still got to tidy these up the next few weeks. That's the job for the next few weeks. We've got the currant bushes behind the strawberries. We've got 1, 2, 3 gooseberry bushes and a couple of blackcurrant bushes. Behind those we've got a 1, 2, is it 3 apple trees? 3 apple trees and a cherry. That's right. And behind those we've got the loganberries and the compost bin. As you can see, the daffodils are starting to come up, so spring is definitely in the air. We've got a few strawberry runners in pots, just to replace any ones that have don't make it through the winter, or if not, we can give away to other people. Compost bins in the corner. That was full up and we emptied that out. Spread it all over the potato rows and over this area. So that's empty and ready to go again. So this is our other plot, which is on a deep bed system. We've probably had this one about 10 to 12 years, I think now. We've got a vine which we inherited from the previous owner, which produces lovely grape juice for us, and we can sit under the vine as well in the summer and have a nice cuppa. We've got 2 plum trees on the plot and another apple tree as well, so we've got quite a few apples, which gives us quite a glut of apples. So we actually dry apples and we also pulp them and freeze them as well, but we can I can do another video on that later on in the season. We've got a fig tree here as well, which we inherited. We've got chives over here growing quite well. You can see they're coming up quite nicely now. Another blackcurrant bush, and we use that area at the back there, across where the fence is, just for flowers and bulbs really, to give us a bit of colour. The beds are all ready for planting. The beds are all ready for planting. Still got a bit of crops left from last year. Got some leeks still. And some parsnips, lasted a few parsnips to take out. Got two beds of broad beans, which we planted, I think it was October, November. Got a greenhouse which we got off eBay for nothing basically. We sort of went along, took it apart and brought it down. That didn't cost us anything really. We've had to buy some polytunnel plastic to put on it, because we do get a lot of wind on this plot. It gets damaged quite often. That's why we've got the netting on it at the moment, to try and protect it from storm Eunice. So we've got a bit of damage there which needs fixing. Got garlic which is growing quite well, and I've got some more in the greenhouse at home. It'll come down later. It's a bit of a later crop. Got artichokes growing. And I forgot to say, on the other plot we've actually got some Jerusalem artichokes which have all been chopped down now. So we've got two types of artichokes. We've got the artichoke and the Jerusalem artichoke. We've got goji berries, quite a few bushes of goji berries. They're growing quite well already. We've got a lot of rhubarb in this area as well with the artichokes. This one's got leaves on already. We've got a row of raspberry bushes and some rosemary behind it, which is nice to cut fresh and use.